this is Ryan Fowler with Mind Chrysalis here with Liam. Liam, you're in the school community, Mind Chrysalis on school.com. And you did a session with me last September, and you've been gracious enough, kind enough to share your story with our audience on YouTube, school, etc., other platforms. And so can you maybe tell us a little bit about yourself and why you decided to do a session with me?
Yeah, no worries, man. So, yeah, I feel like my whole life I've kind of been looking for answers. Like I've always had this something holding me back. I never knew what it was. I kind of thought it was my imagination. I thought it was me. There was a lot of toxic shame going on. Obviously, I didn't know what that was.
Toxic shame, feeling not good enough, right?
Absolutely. So, I just thought that was it. That's the way I am. That's the way it is, kind of thing. Obviously not, but a part of me wanted to improve. So I was always trying to. So I actually got into self-improvement, and from self-improvement, I got into it was MLD's kind of video content, and then from there, I think I joined one of his communities, and then from there, it was your webinar that was like a game changer in that. And I'll also add this. I was very like financially I was pretty much broke, so that's why I probably didn't get a session before. But when I got a session with you, I had hardly any money, but I had such confidence in it because I was looking into it for such a long time and into what you were doing. I just knew it would work, and I knew I had to do something. So I just jumped in.
Your struggle was you would self-sabotage, you'd start a job, you quit a job, now you broke again, start another one, quit another one. Is that accurate?
100%, yeah.
How about like relationships, any other way you struggled?
Yeah, relationships, it would be kind of a similar pattern. Like, you just think of a reason to end it, or a reason why it wasn't working, or maybe, here's a good one regarding relationships. It's almost like I had this barometer that I set for say girls that I would be able to date and girls that were just out of my league. And the more I liked them, the more there was a risk.
Out of your league.
Yeah. The risk was higher. So it was like this standard, this invisible standard I was setting for myself.
Yeah.
And a lot of that came back from, because I've been doing the self-hypnosis a lot. So from our session, I found out even more. Even though our session was really, really extensive, I found out even more. And a lot of that, I think a lot of that is tied to, it's okay to date these girls that you're not really that bothered about. But when it comes to someone you like they, they kind of reveal things, they reveal, and then it becomes unsafe to reveal the real you. And now there's real pain there. But it's all right when you're just dating these, these girls here and there. But when it gets serious, and I think that's when I self-sabotage as well, when it starts to get serious. So when we went and did the session, the actual session part of the session where you go into hypnosis, I was quite familiar with that.
Okay.
But
what was the one-on-one session like? How did that help? What was it like, first off?
The one-on-one session, oh man, it was mind-blowing. Like, it was, because it's more than just the self-hypnosis. Like, it's like a full dissection of yourself. Like, I'll say this,
we went all the way down to the core, baby.
Oh man, yeah. No, I was in. I was like, I think at one point in our session, you were like, "Do you want to stop?" I was like, "No, I'm in. I'm here now." I'm like, "Let's do it." But
I think at some point maybe the trauma was really big or something, and I'm like, "Are you okay, man?" or something. But you hung in there.
Was it.
Yeah. So So then what happened?
Just the whole before that part is so important because it pretty much answered all my questions. Because I'll say this to everyone, like, I haven't had the most traumatic childhood. I'll bet there's some people who've had a session with you or are thinking of having a session that have had a much rougher upbringing than me. In my head, I didn't have a bad, I knew my parents loved me and stuff like that. Like, I didn't have it that bad. But what came out was there was a certain other family member that caused a lot of my issues, and most of my session was fixated on that because that was such a huge thing that I didn't notice. Like, if you'd asked me a week earlier, what do you think your biggest problem is? I'd have probably said something else.
Wow.
I wouldn't have put two and two together like that.
Yeah.
And that was like game changing. And another thing is, like, now I'm just telling people about everything. So before, when I did this business page thing, my online fitness page, I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to tell anyone that I knew.
Yeah. So
when I was doing,
I'm just curious. So how quickly did you notice a difference once you had the session? Was it immediate? Was it very subtle? Did it change over time? Was it a very profound change? What was the change like?
It was funny. I remember it like it was yesterday. So when we did our session, it was Sunday evening where I am here in gloomy old England. So it was Sunday, and it went quite far. I think I knew the session was going to be 5 or 6 hours, but I think we actually went even over that. So it was quite late.
Sometimes I do 7 if or even 7.5. I do whatever it takes. You're my only session. One-on-one, I only do 1 session a day. So yeah, I think we went over. If you need it, you need it. We do whatever it takes. Yeah. So yeah,
great. Which is great, but because of that, it was Sunday night and it was like really late, and I was just pumped up. My eyes were like wide, so I wasn't sleeping for like a few hours. So then I got up the next day and went to my then sales job. I now have a much better sales job, by the way. It's in a much better environment. It's much better commission. Everything's improved on that aspect as well. And I won't be running away from that job anymore.
How much better of a salesperson are you?
What's that, sorry?
How much better of a salesperson are you? Are you better?
I'm much better.
Okay.
I used to be really nervous about objections and, all the stuff you have to deal with, what they're going to say. I'm just relaxed, like a conversation, like we're having a conversation now.
Is there anything you'd like to tell our audience? Anyone thinking about doing this on the fence, or anything else you just like to tell anyone about this experience?
Yeah, sure. What I wanted to mention is what I wanted to mention is the free community that you've got, because I do believe when I did my session, I think you just started it. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's been up about 2.5 months. Yeah, the mind now it's on the school platform. Yeah.
Now it's flying. So I would suggest anyone now they have the option to join that for free.
2 webinars a month. We got free webinars twice a month. We got free content, free self-hypnosis, training on how to use it, a community that interacts with each other. Yeah, keep going.
I'll shout out the community as well. The community I've joined a few of these online communities, and a lot of them are hit and miss, for self-improvement stuff, maybe for money stuff in the past. They're like hit and miss. This one is it's the most positive one I've been in. The last thing is because of you have more self-worth. I'm taking no shit in the nicest, most respectful way. Even people I've known for years, even some family members, I'm just respectfully setting boundaries, and that's another thing.
You don't need to get angry about it because you're in control. No, you got the power, man.
That's it. Yeah, no anger.
Just collected, firm boundaries.
That's it.
Keep going.
That's it too.
All right, man. Well, it's my honor and pleasure, man. And I look forward to just seeing your star rise and rise, brother. So it's my honor and pleasure. Thank you for being willing to share your story and encourage others to change their lives too. So mindchrysalis.com, YouTube channel, Mind Chrysalis, do a search. We got shows, join the community, one-on-one session. Yeah, I am not 100%, but very high percentage of people, their stories are like Liam. So thank you for sharing and letting people know. And guys, everyone, you have more power than you know. And thank you, Liam.